Everything appeared ordinary at first. Trump was smiling, Ivanka composed. Across from them, Jasmine Crockett sat quietly, prepared to reveal a secret so significant that by the end of the program, nothing would feel the same, especially for Trump and Ivanka. The studio lights brightened, washing the stage in a warm glow. Cameras began rolling, the audience applauded, and Donald Trump entered the room. His presence was unmistakable. He didn't simply walk in. He took control with a small wave and his familiar smile. He absorbed the applause like someone convinced the spotlight belonged to him. The camera followed every movement, every gesture. Trump straightened his suit, raised his chin, and displayed the confidence that had carried him through years of rallies, speeches, and interviews. Ivanka followed quietly, composed and polished, her expression carefully maintained. She took her seat smoothly, crossed her legs, and appeared calm and fully in control. The host opened the discussion warmly, eager to set a friendly tone. Mr. Trump, millions are watching tonight. You've faced many challenges over the years. What keeps you moving forward? Where do you find your strength? It was a question made for Trump. He leaned toward the microphone, scanning the audience. His voice was firm, measured, and familiar. My family. My family is what keeps me going. They've always been my strength. Ivanka, Barron, all of them. Loyal, incredible. Truly the best anyone could ask for. The audience applauded again. Trump's smile grew wider. He tapped the desk lightly, nodding as if to confirm his point. Ivanka's expression didn't change. She glanced at him briefly, then back toward the crowd. To the cameras, she appeared to be a supportive daughter, but beneath the studio lights, her stillness suggested something more, something difficult to define. On the opposite side of the stage sat Jasmine Crockett. Quiet, patient. She didn't clap with the audience. She didn't nod as Trump praised his family. Her gaze remained steady, focused on him, as if waiting for the right moment. Trump continued, clearly comfortable. When you lead, strength matters. People look at your family to understand who you are. My children, my loyalty, my values, that's who I am. Applause followed again, and Trump gave his familiar dismissive wave, as if the discussion was settled. But it wasn't. In fact, it hadn't really started. While Trump spoke with confidence, Jasmine remained silent, carrying a different kind of certainty. She wasn't impressed. She wasn't persuaded. She knew something the rest of the room wasn't ready for, and she wouldn't keep it hidden much longer. The host glanced toward Jasmine, noticing her silence, but kept the focus on Trump. It made for easy television. Trump talking about family, the audience responding, Ivanka smiling as if everything was fine. Yet small cracks were forming. Ivanka avoided eye contact when Trump mentioned Barron. Her fingers tightened against the chair. And Jasmine's calm expression seemed to quietly say, I know the truth. The atmosphere in the studio began to change. Applause softened. A heavy silence slowly replaced excitement. The audience couldn't explain it, but they felt something coming. Trump didn't notice. He was too focused on his narrative, too confident in his words. He didn't see Jasmine's stare, Ivanka's controlled expression, or the shift in the crowd. America needs strong families, he continued. And no one has a stronger family than mine. At that moment, Jasmine leaned forward slightly, just enough to signal she was ready. The audience didn't know what was coming. Trump didn't either. Ivanka may have known, which explained why she stayed perfectly still. But Jasmine knew. And what she was about to reveal would turn that proud statement into the beginning of something far bigger. As the applause faded, Jasmine Crockett finally spoke. Until then, she had remained silent, hands resting calmly on the table, eyes fixed on Trump. The host was about to move on when her voice cut through the room, clear, controlled, and firm. Mr. Trump, she said, not raising her voice but commanding attention. You speak often about strength, honesty, and how your family defines you. But the issue is that the story you tell isn't as truthful as you claim. The studio fell silent. No one expected that, especially on live television. Trump blinked, briefly caught off guard, then leaned forward. Excuse me. My family is the strongest. Everyone knows that. Don't start with nonsense. Jasmine didn't react. She remained steady, unshaken. That response proves my point, she continued. You present a perfect image. The perfect father, perfect children, perfect loyalty. But what if that image isn't complete? What if you've been hiding something real? Something about your own family? The audience shifted in their seats. A quiet murmur spread through the room. Ivanka froze. Her smile remained, but her eyes moved to her father for the first time, then quickly back to Jasmine. Trump forced a laugh and waved his hand. Ridiculous. She's making things up. Total nonsense. But Jasmine leaned slightly closer, her voice calm and precise. I'm not making anything up. I wouldn't say this without evidence. The public deserves the truth, Mr. Trump, especially when a leader hides something this serious, something tied directly to the family image you present as your greatest strength. The host appeared stunned, torn between keeping the program under control and allowing the tension to play out. The camera moved in on Trump's face, flushed, jaw clenched, his usual confidence beginning to crack. Then Jasmine asked the question that stopped the room cold. Why don't you tell everyone who Barron's real mother is? The silence that followed felt heavy, almost suffocating. The audience reacted instantly. Some gasped out loud, others covered their mouths, while quiet whispers spread through the seats. Chairs shifted across the studio floor. Trump slammed his hand on the desk, his voice rising sharply. How dare you? That's a disgusting lie. You have no idea what you're talking about. Shameful. Absolutely shameful. Yet the louder he became, the calmer Jasmine appeared. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't argue. She simply watched him, allowing his anger to fill the space. Then, softly but with certainty, she spoke. It's not a lie. It's not rumor. It's fact. And I have documents that prove it. The audience gasped again, louder this time. The host leaned forward, hands clasped together, unsure whether to step in or let it continue. Ivanka gripped the arms of her chair so tightly her knuckles turned white. She didn't speak or move, but her stillness spoke volumes. Trump shook his head, forcing a laugh that sounded empty. She's crazy. Completely crazy. No one believes this. But the room had shifted. The audience wasn't with him anymore. There was no applause, no smiles. Their attention was fixed on Jasmine. And she knew it. She didn't need to shout. She didn't need to match Trump's volume. Her strength was in her composure, in the quiet weight of her words. The truth isn't always comfortable, Mr. Trump, she said, her voice cutting cleanly through the tension. But when truth is hidden, when power is built on a false image, people deserve to know. And tonight they will. The cameras captured everything. Trump's flushed face, Ivanka's frozen expression, Jasmine's steady calm. The studio no longer felt like a show. Felt like a courtroom. And Jasmine was presenting the opening piece of her case. The suspense was overwhelming. Everyone sensed something significant was coming. The only question was what she would reveal next. Moments earlier, the studio had been filled with applause and praise for Trump's talk of family values. Now it was filled with something entirely different. Tension so thick it felt tangible. Trump leaned forward again, anger burning across his face. His hands slamming onto the desk. This is outrageous. You think you can sit there and attack my family on live television? You're a disgrace, Jasmine. A disgrace. His voice echoed through the room. But the audience remained silent. They weren't cheering. They were watching, some leaning forward, eyes wide, others whispering in disbelief. Jasmine remained completely still, her calm cutting through Trump's fury. She tilted her head slightly, as if observing a tantrum rather than a threat. Then she spoke quietly. The louder you shout, the clearer it becomes that you don't want the truth to come out. The statement landed heavily. A wave of gasps rippled through the audience. Trump shifted uncomfortably, glancing around as if the room had turned against him. Then Ivanka finally spoke. Her voice, usually steady, carried a slight tremor. This is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. My father has always been honest about our family. How dare you suggest something so vile? She leaned toward Jasmine, eyes sharp. You're doing this to humiliate us. You don't care about the truth. You just want attention. Jasmine didn't react emotionally. Her voice stayed low and precise, like a surgeon making careful cuts. No, Ivanka. This isn't about embarrassment. This is about accountability. When a leader hides something this serious, something that could change how people see him, the public has a right to know. This isn't about me. It's about honesty, Trump snapped, pointing a finger at her. You're lying. You're trying to destroy my family. You come in here with fake documents and think you can smear us. It won't work. No one believes you. But once again, the room told a different story. No boos. No applause. Just silence. The audience was waiting, watching, eager to see what Jasmine would do next. Ivanka tried again, her voice sharper now, her composed smile gone. You don't understand the damage you're causing. Families deserve privacy. Children deserve protection. Dragging Baron into this is disgusting. For the first time, Jasmine's expression softened. She nodded slowly, acknowledging the concern. You're right. Children do deserve protection. But this isn't about Baron. It's about the lies built around him. When a child's life is used as a shield to protect a politician's image, that's when truth matters most. The audience murmured again, louder now. A few clapped softly, not in celebration, but in recognition of her restraint. Trump struck the desk once more, his voice shaking with anger. You think people care about this? They don't. They care about strength, about leadership. No one cares about your fake drama. Jasmine leaned back slightly, her calm almost unsettling compared to his rage. She looked directly at him. If no one cares, then why are you so afraid? The room erupted with gasps. Even the host couldn't hide his shock. Trump froze, unable to respond. His mouth opened then closed. The quick replies he was known for failed him. Ivanka, now pale, reached for her father's arm, trying to steady him. Her hand trembled. She sensed what was coming. Jasmine turned slightly toward the audience, her calm voice carrying across the studio. The truth is uncomfortable. Shakes those in power. But it's also simple. And tonight, everyone watching deserves to hear it. Backed by evidence no one could deny. The audience held its breath. The cameras moved closer. The host leaned in. Trump gripped the edge of the desk, his knuckles white. Ivanka remained frozen, eyes locked on Jasmine, silently pleading for her to stop. But it was too late. Jasmine had the room, the moment, and the control. She was seconds away from revealing proof that would change everything. The studio fell silent, not from boredom but from anticipation. The audience, the host, the cameras, even Trump and Ivanka seemed to freeze, waiting. Then, slowly and deliberately, Jasmine reached beneath the desk. Her hand returned holding a thick manila folder. She placed it carefully in front of her, as if it carried more weight than anything said all night. The host's eyes widened. He leaned in and whispered, "Are those documents?" Jasmine didn't answer him. Her gaze remained fixed on Trump and Ivanka. Her voice was calm but sharp. "You accuse me of lying. You accuse me of making things up. But I don't speak without proof. And right here is the evidence." Trump cut in immediately, his voice booming. "It's all fake. Don't believe anything she says. It's all fabricated. Another witch hunt. Another disgraceful smear." But his shouting only made Jasmine's silence stand out more. She slowly opened the folder. The soft sound of pages sliding against each other echoed louder than his voice. The audience leaned in, trying to catch a glimpse. Jasmine removed a stack of papers and raised them toward the cameras. "These are not rumors. These are not opinions. These are verified records. Legal filings, medical documents, DNA reports, all pointing to one truth that has been concealed for years." Trump slammed his hand on the desk. Lies. Those are altered. You can fake anything now. Photoshop, forged signatures, fake DNA. This is nonsense. Jasmine didn't react. She turned to the cameras, lifting her voice just enough for viewers at home to hear every word clearly. These documents have been verified. They were cross-checked, signed, and notarized. This is not gossip. This is fact. And the fact is this. Ivanka Trump is Barron's biological mother. The room erupted. Gasps filled the studio, overpowering the host's attempt to restore order. Audience members covered their mouths, some shaking their heads, others whispering in disbelief. Trump stood, pointing at Jasmine. His face flushed with anger. How dare you? This is an attack on my family, on my children. You should be ashamed. Turn off her microphone. Now. But the microphone stayed live. The cameras kept rolling. Ivanka sat frozen, her face pale. Her lips parted, but no words came. Her eyes moved from the folder back to Jasmine. She seemed ready to deny it, to respond, but something held her back, the weight of the documents. The host tried again. Miss Crockett, this is an extraordinary allegation. Jasmine cut in, calm and steady. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And tonight I've brought it. These documents show the timeline, the medical proof, and the legal authorization. The public story about this family is not accurate, and people deserve the truth. The audience gasped again. Some even applauded, not in celebration, but in shock that anyone would confront Trump so directly. Trump, shaking with rage, shouted, "This is illegal. You'll pay for this. Anyone spreading these lies will regret it." Jasmine no longer looked at him. She faced the cameras and addressed viewers at home. This is not about tearing anyone down. It's about truth. Leaders cannot demand trust while hiding their deepest secrets. If power is to be held accountable, then no lie, no matter how personal, can be shielded. The studio fell into chaos. Trump yelling. Ivanka silent. The host overwhelmed. The audience buzzing. Jasmine remained composed, the papers still in her hands, her words hanging heavily in the air. The truth was no longer whispered. It was live, visible to the world, and impossible to take back. The room felt like a storm. Trump's voice echoed as he demanded the broadcast be cut. Ivanka's silence spoke louder than his anger. The host struggled for control, but the moment no longer belonged to him. It belonged to Jasmine Crockett. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. The folder said enough. The audience felt it. Viewers at home felt it. The pressure of truth weighed heavily. In the middle of the noise, Jasmine leaned toward the microphone. Her tone was steady, her words precise. This is not about humiliating a family. This is not about private conflict. This is about accountability. When leaders lie about personal truths, they show they are willing to lie about anything. If they can manipulate their own story, how can the public trust them with the nation's story? Her words cut through the shouting. Trump slammed his fist again, but fewer people paid attention. The audience was focused on Jasmine. She lifted another page from the folder and tapped it lightly. These documents reveal what was hidden. But more importantly, they show the act of hiding itself. Concealment is power. By controlling the narrative, leaders protect their image, their wealth, and their influence. And the longer a lie survives, the stronger it becomes. That is why exposure matters. The host stopped interrupting. His stunned expression mirrored the audience. There was no stopping this. Jasmine turned back to the cameras, speaking directly to millions watching. Ask yourselves this. Why do politicians hide these truths? Why go to such extremes to erase family ties, rewrite personal histories, and silence questions? The answer is simple. They fear scandal. They fear losing control. They fear people discovering that the image they sell is not the life they live. The room grew quiet. Even Trump, still furious, had no words left. His anger remained, but it could not overpower the message. Jasmine continued, her voice firm. When secrets like this are buried, It's not just about privacy. It affects legal rights, inheritance, custody, taxes. Can influence political decisions. Can become leverage behind closed doors. And every buried truth weakens public trust. That is why exposure matters. Not for gossip, not for headlines, but for accountability. The audience murmured again, this time with understanding. Some nodded. A few clapped softly. Jasmine placed the papers back into the folder and rested her hands on it. I know the risks. Speaking against powerful figures invites threats, lawsuits, and attempts to destroy your reputation. But truth outweighs fear. If we expect honesty from our leaders, we cannot allow lies to be hidden behind polished speeches and perfect smiles. She paused, letting the silence settle. Then she looked directly into the camera one final time. So I leave you with this question. If a leader hides something this personal, this significant, what else are they hiding from you? The audience fell silent. No applause. No gasp. Just the weight of realization. Trump stood rigid, fists clenched. His face burning with anger. Ivanka stared at the floor. Her silence louder than denial. The host, shaken, finally whispered, We'll be right back. But the cameras had already captured what mattered. The lie was exposed. The evidence was undeniable. And Jasmine Crockett's question now belonged to the viewers at home, a question that would remain long after the lights faded.